Okay. Welcome to the Inbox Attack Weekly Workout. I'm Nate, and today we're going to dig into, I think it's one of the more fun arenas for this. We're going to dig into confidence today. Last week we covered desperation and like how awful it is and how to identify and remove the cancer that is desperation from emails and frankly any kind of business messaging, especially emails and voicemails though. So this week we're going to dig into confidence, looking at an email, the balance between being cocky and being confident, and giving you a little bit of permission to be to be the badass. So we're gonna dig into that a bit. Okay. So here's the deal. Confidence gets a bad rap in marketing. It's a really bad rap. And Van Wilder, it's kind of a raunchy, I think it was late 90s that it came out. In the 90s movie, like college toilet humor. But one of the reasons it's lasted so long, I actually launched Mr. Ryan Reynolds into superstardom, was this idea of what does an ultra confident man look like, right? And it was almost the point of being ludicrous. Since watching that film, I actually watched it in college and thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And I saw some of all of his other films and became a fan. I actually met people in real life that were that confident, that just had they reeked of confidence. And then I met people in business years later that reeked of business confidence, and I saw the upsides and downsides to having that level of confidence. And then when I moved more into email marketing, I'll about say 3 or 4 years ago, I really started digging in. And 2 years ago, it became kind of like my sole focus. Confidence is powerful, and it sells too. Confidence just sells. And one of the things, I don't know if any of you know of the guy, Grant Cardone. He's probably one of the top 5 or top 10 sales gurus out there right now. He's a Scientologist. He's short. He started it in car sales. So he comes off really super overconfident, super strong, and kind of get a little bit of a douchey vibe going there. And that's not something that I typically would even pay attention to, but he is really, really good. He's one of those few folks that I think I've encountered or interacted with that has actually earned that level of bravado. He's earned it. And I know a lot of you on this call today, and some of you who I know personally, have actually earned more confidence than you're displaying in the messaging that I've seen so far. And one of the things Grant Cardone says that I think I'm going to totally steal it here is you need to be sold on your own product. So whether you're selling a service or selling a product or selling a cause, you need to be sold on it. And at a very basic level, we covered this last week, and talking about desperation, is that if you don't have complete faith, and I use that word very deliberately, if you don't have faith in what you're selling, it comes through in everything, every interaction, every voicemail, every email, every post, every face-to-face interaction, every image that you post, every video. It'll come through ferociously, and you won't be able to do anything about it. And it's one of those things that's hard to talk about, the power of a first impression. Going in low confidence will hurt. And granted, going in overconfident, which we'll cover in a bit here, is the other edge of that sword. So this is something that David, is this one that you pushed out?
No, to be honest, that's one I wrote this morning in like 10 minutes.
All right.
So,
Cool.
Good luck.
This is frankly, it's this is something I wish I could get in my inbox more often, to be honest with you. Kind of like, hey, I'm better than you. It's really audacious. And we've gone over, I think every single session we've had of Inbox Attack, we've talked about the importance of detail and contrast. And one of the ways to create contrast is with audacity. And in this case, this one's super audacious, and really exaggerated. And that's okay though, because it stood out. Now, there's aspects of it that definitely could be like, whoa, like slow your roll, buddy, like we just met. But that's the thing, is that sometimes you need to do that, especially when you're doing email follow-ups. You can actually increase the temperature of the water to really raise those stakes, push them closer to the fire, raise the temperature, throw another ladle full of water on those rocks in the steam room to really crank up the temperature. But it's a balance, right? Now, one of the phrases, the reasons we started Inbox Attack to begin with was a client, Greg Ragland, who runs Vocabulary Zone. And he's been doing these vocabulary courses for like 15 years. Fascinating stuff. And one of the things he talks a lot about is poise. And that by delivering the right words, it helps establish your poise and your posture, that you're standing confidently. And when you don't have the benefit of being in an environment or a situation where you can visually stand out, the words that you use could actually help communicate poise and posture. It could also have the opposite effect and make you seem like an asshole. So we're going to dig into that a little bit. And I'm on the side, and actually David and I had a conversation about this morning. We have a vendor we're working with that we're going to have to get money back from. And I was like, hey, it's typical good cop, bad cop routine. I'll play the asshole. I was like, so, and David says, like, so nothing new then, right? Like, it's a regular day in the life for us. But that's an interesting point to make, because ultimately everyone has a baseline. So everyone has a baseline that on a regular day, this is where you're at. That's part of like injecting humanity into your emails. Why adding that the personality and the human flavor into your emails is so important. Is that if you're real, if you're being real with people, with strangers, that you want to open their wallets or their calendars or their black book to you, being real about what that baseline is important. For me, I would say that if I was being brutally vulnerable and honest about my level of confidence in this space, it would be more in I have a lot of confidence that I could do great things, but I would say that I err a bit more on the asshole side, and because that is what I respond to, frankly. I don't respond to nice people as well. It's kind of weird. I'm sure a psychiatrist would have a field day with me. But the thing is, you're dealing with people with typical psyches as well. And some of them are going to respond to the asshole and some of them won't. But ultimately, understanding what that baseline is. Charlie, I would say, is a bit snarky. David, is kind and clever with his words. Miriam is like the kindest person ever. Mike is very direct but respectful. Very direct. Derek, we don't know Derek yet. We're going to see some of his right today, I hope. So that's the type of thing to think about is what that baseline is. Because if you understand what your baseline is, like this is who I really am, this is how I actually talk in conversation in a social setting to a stranger, this is my baseline, then you know how you can manipulate it. And sometimes you need to raise the temperature and sometimes you need to lower the temperature. But ultimately, as long as you're doing it deliberately and intentionally with in good faith, it's going to go all right for you. So one of the things to do is just to play it cool. Now, that's like one of the, I hate that term, but it's the best way to describe this, is that we don't need to be loud to be confident. We don't need to be verbose to be confident. Actually, shorter messaging communicates more confidence than a longer, you know, hey, look at me, I'm amazing message. So let me say that again. A shorter message displays confidence. It doesn't have, so if your baseline is super kind and gentle, and we've got clients, a client that we're onboarding now that's he teaches people how to, he's a train the trainer for yoga. It all just very calm, and that's his baseline. Now, a short email from him that's less verbose is actually going to raise that level of confidence that's being exuded out of the email. It's going to amplify that effect just by shortening it. So it's kind but short. And people say, "Oh, they were really short with me." And they may have just said, like, they may have just dumped a bunch on you, or they may have just, you know, slammed the door in your face too. So with your business messaging, you need to be deliberate with it. And that's one of the reasons why when people talk about email series or drip campaigns, well, if you understand what that baseline is, that first email, you go with the baseline is like, hey, you don't know me, I don't know you, I think we should do business together. I think that it's worth having a conversation to see if you want to buy from me or not. And then the next email can be like, you know, I'm going to play it cool and back off. And that also shows confidence. One of the things that we do in our LinkedIn outreach campaigns is we'll wait 2 weeks after someone has accepted our connection request to reach back out. Because we don't need to tell them that we're badass. We need to show them that we're badass. The way to show them is by waiting. And people, and I have a lot of actually my fellow email marketing experts that think that's total bullshit. I think my numbers are pretty awesome, and that's my baseline. I think my numbers are awesome, but I'm happy. I'd be happy if someone would prove me wrong on things. Show me the numbers. Show me what you got. And that's me. Let's go head to head. That is my baseline, is that I want to do better than I did the day before. I'm super, super hard on myself, but in a very cocky way. So, and everyone else has said establishing that baseline is important, because with each follow-up conversation, you need to adjust the temperature until you find out what temperature they want their food. You know, do they want the cool as a cucumber bisque, or they want the piping hot gumbo? I don't know.